poisonous to people. True, it is edible. It just does not taste very good. I wouldn't know though. Should have been told. Aren't they cute? So cool. Here we have some of our black buck. These are not babies. They are fully sized. They're just the smallest antelope species in the world. We're going to see a lot of them today. And behind them we have our blue wildebeest, also known as the white-bearded gnu. Now, the blue wildebeest take part in something called the Great Migration with the Grand Zebras every year out in the wild. There are so many individuals traveling in the Great Migration, the dust they kick up can be seen from space. We have our Bisa oryx feeding back there. The Bisa oryx are from a very hot, dry, arid environment, so they need to keep as much water in their bodies as possible. How they do that is they will raise their body temperature to match the outside temperature all the way up to 116 degrees Fahrenheit. And what that does for them is it keeps them from sweating. They need to keep as much water in their bodies as possible. Here's some more of our male fallow deer. Check them out. Now, male fallow deer also grow antlers, not horns. The Bisa oryx have horns. And it's been too early in the season for all of them to have their antlers yet, so they'll get more developed antlers as the season goes on. Now, who else do we have here? Oh, great. So coming up on the right-hand side is our family of African bongos. Now, despite their large size and bright coloration, they are called the ghosts of the forest because they are rarely seen and observed by people in the wild. Most of what we know about them comes from observations of their behavior and just the way they are in human care. So that is the male. The darker colored one is the male, the one in the middle is the calf, and the one on the right is the mother. So coming up we have our reticulated giraffes as well as our scimitar horned oryx. Check them out. Now the scimitar horned oryx did in fact go extinct in the wild in the year 2000, but in the year 2016 30 individuals were introduced to the country of Chad. Now there are 600 of them present day. And I can see our reticulated giraffes, which are the tallest animal in the world, getting up to 15 feet tall. Check them out. They have 7 vertebrae in their necks just like we do. They're just much, much larger. Oops, sorry. Now their hearts are 2 feet across, so they have the nickname the kindest animal in the world. Now, unfortunately, we have lost over 50% of them in the wild through a process known as silent extinction. And what a silent extinction is when an animal's numbers are dropping, but it's so poorly documented that it's not caught until we've already lost a lot of them. Hopefully, more land can be set aside for their numbers to grow, because the main cause of their numbers dropping is they're losing too much of their habitat for them to keep up. We have our Grand Zebras over here. Now, the Grand Zebras out in the wild travel around in a formation known as a dazzle.
Why?
Now, they get the name dazzle because of the way the intense African sun hits their stripes, producing a vertigo-inducing optical illusion, making it tough for predators to pick out an individual. And what else do we have coming up? So we have the red Ankole cattle coming up on the left-hand side, also known as the Watusi cattle. Now, their horns may look big and heavy and hard to move around with, but they actually have a hollow honeycomb-like structure on the inside of those horns, which are made of bone. Check them out. Now, what that honeycomb structure allows for is blood to flow up into those horns, and it cools the blood down before it re-enters their bodies, kind of acting like a personal air conditioning unit if it were fused to your skull, and super lightweight. Now, over here on the right-hand side, it's been too cold for them today. We have our red lechwe. As you can see, their back legs are significantly longer than their front legs. So when they're out a little warmer, during the warmer months, you can see that better. So this is a great view of our Savannah Sunset Resort. This is where you can stay for a minimum of 2 nights and have access to daily giraffe VIP tours, which gets you up close and personal to everything at the safari, including the tigers.
Okay.
Check that out. It has an on-site bar and restaurant and spa. If you wanted to get some skincare done, sip a margarita while observing the gazelles. Great way to spend an afternoon. We're entering into the next part of our Serengeti grasslands, and I can see some of our ostriches hanging out. Now, we have ostrich eggs out and about, so I will point them out when I see them. They're hard to miss. They're quite large. Now, who do we have down here? So we'll see them a little later. We have our common eland and some more of our male fallow deer. As we come through the other side, we will get a better look at them. Now, the female ostriches you can tell apart from the males, by the females being that more dusky brown-gray color, while the males have those rich black feathers. And if you look at their legs, they're bright pink. It looks like they're wearing pink socks. Here's some more of our black buck. Now, black buck get their name from the more mature males having this dark brown, almost black coat, which you will see on the left-hand side. One is sitting down. I just think they're cute. Aren't they something? They look so snooty. I love them. Little snouts. Now those horns, those spiraled horns of theirs, are also part of their skull structure. If those horns were to get damaged or fall off, they would not grow back or repair themselves.
Don't insult the animals like
That
that.
doesn't really happen here. Who else do we have? Coming up on the right-hand side, laying down, is a group of our male Oodad, also known as Barbary sheep. Now, despite the name Barbary sheep, Oodads are actually more closely related to goats than they are to sheep. They are native to the Atlas Mountains. If one of them comes close enough, take a look at their eyes. They have rectangular pupils like other goat species, which I think is neat. You can tell they are males because of their thicker, more closely put together horns, and their beards, also known as dewlaps. And here we have some of our black wildebeest, who do not take part in the Great Migration despite being wildebeest. Check them out. They're just, generally speaking, nomadic, follow wherever the food and water is most plentiful. And we have my personal favorite, the sable antelope. Now, the sable antelope, I love them for their beautiful, richly colored coats. And if we see the males, there he is in the back, have these 5-foot-long horns that they can use to scoop up a charging predator and flip those predators over their backs. How cool is that? We have the addax in the back paddock. Attic in the paddock. Now, unfortunately, there are less than 50 addax in the wild today. They're poached for those bright marshmallowy white coats. And now, their coats actually turn a brighter white in the summer to help reflect the sun's rays, keep them nice and cool. Now, as I mentioned, the black wildebeest, while they do not take part in the Great Migration, are just generally speaking nomadic. They will follow the food and water wherever it is the most abundant. Now, oh, there, sitting next to the male ostrich are 4 eggs. I think there are 4 eggs. There are 4 or 5. Check him out. Aren't they pretty? I love to see them. Now those eggs are so big and so thick. A fully grown human being can stand on one of those eggs without breaking it. They have the same amount of protein as 2 dozen chicken eggs. And the only way to get into the shell is by drilling it. Isn't that something? You gotta really work for that breakfast. We're going into our Kingsland section next, home to our 3 prides of African lions. Here's the old Warden Tower from back when the tigers and lions were free roaming. Who do we have over here? So these are one of the mixed prides, but I can see really only the females out right now, which they're gorgeous. I'm happy to see them. Aren't they great? Now, lions have the lowest success rate of big cat hunts. Their success rate is only 25%. They have the smallest hearts of the big cats, meaning it's tough for them to run for long distances over long periods of time, especially in that intense African heat and all that fur that they have. Their small hearts can't quite keep up with their bodies, so they have to kind of take it easy, which is why they sleep for almost 20 hours a day. They gotta conserve as much of their energy as possible. Isn't that great? It's heck of a nap time. The females will be the primary hunters of those prides. That being said, they eat second to whatever they do successfully bring down a hunted animal. Females will eat first because they are the first line of defense against other males or a rival pride, which is pretty cool. The babies will eat last, which seems counterintuitive, but it works for them. We have in one of these areas our all-male pride of lions, which is called a coalition. A coalition is formed. It's one of our mixed prides back there, so I think this is the coalition coming up on the left-hand side. The coalition is formed whenever male lions are picked up their respective prides for one reason or another, typically due to age or losing a fight. Now, as the males get older, those manes will expand and darken, giving them that beautiful, rich, darker color. They are very pretty, aren't they? So unfortunately, they are so beautiful, we have lost over 40% of them in the wild due to trophy hunting for their beautiful manes and coats, as well as human conflict. They're losing more and more of their habitat space, like most other animals are in the world today. They're forced to prey upon farmers' livestock, which in turn causes the farmers to understandably defend their livelihoods and eliminate the lion threat. So hopefully, as more land is set aside in wildlife preservation areas, their numbers, as well as others, can recover. Because if they don't, we will see the loss of lions and giraffes in the next 20 to 30 years, which is quite unfortunate. Hopefully it doesn't get to that point, though. On a much later note, we're going back into our Black Bear Ridge area.
Put it on video. It's not going to
In
work.
one of our nursery dens, we have 2 brand new baby black bears, so keep your eye out for that. I'll point out when we get closer. Now, black bears are found in 49 out of 50 states. Anybody want to wager a guess where they're not found?
Here.
Well, Hawaii. Hawaii's right. They can't rent a fishing boat. You gotta have thumbs to get a fishing license and a boat license. Bad joke, sorry. Now, despite the name black bear, they come in a variety of colors, making them the most misidentified bear species in the world. They come in shades of brown, they come in white, they come in a blonde shade, and more of a reddish-brown cinnamon shade.
I love acorns.
Pretty cool. They're also omnivorous, meaning they will eat just about anything.
Squirrels.
Plants, fish,
It's
berries,
like a squirrel.
No, I used to
etc.
bring acorns to
Bugs.
the bears all the time.
That said, black bears have a preference for a fruit and veggie diet, as opposed to their brown bear cousins who have a preference for a fish and meat diet. Now, coming up, we're going to have a nursery den on the right-hand side, home to our 2 one-year-old black bear cubs. Oh, they are both out. Aren't they cute? Oh, they're so cute. Whoa.
I want them.
So you can see them out and about, just kind of moving around. Mom is back there with them. Aren't they
Can I have
cute?
Can I have it?
Now, if you ever see a black bear up in a tree, please don't be concerned. They're expert climbers. They're where they want to be. Oh, this is the den with the little baby black bears. Keep your eye on the back area of the den. They're teeny, teeny, tiny. They just look like little black balls of fur. So I can kind of see one in the corner.
So cute. I want them.
Oh, sweet.
Can I keep them?
No. So like I said, they're expert climbers, so if you ever see one up in a tree, they're where they want to be. They have extra sharp hooked claws that allow them to dig into the bark of the tree and climb their way up. So they're not stuck, I promise. They're just fine. Alright, we are going to be entering into the next area of our Serengeti grasslands, where we're going to see some of our common eland and male fallow deer.
They almost got out.
Let's see, once this gate gets open, we will go on through. Now, a little bit about the common eland before we see it. The common eland is the second largest antelope species in the world, with the largest being the greater eland, which we don't have here. Despite their large size, the common eland can jump 8 feet straight in the air. Sorry, I'm trying to get a good visual on them. There they are.